Arsenal Football Club, built on a passionate fan base with a wonderful stadium in an era of dominance in the Premier League under Arsene Wenger during his early tenure. Still the only team to ever go unbeaten in the Premier League, but since then it's not been going their way. A distant gap in values between the board and its fans. And that's Sir Arsene Wenger leave after years of campaigning, hashtagging Wenger out. Since then, Unai Emery has been appointed, but it's not gone much better. The fans are divided, a team leaderless, rudderless, and at odds with the very people that pay their ticket money to come and see them every week. Unai Emery is now gone, and the club is in desperate need of a hero.
I got the job!
I'm ready. Drop the intro. Hello all, MikeRo Munch here. Welcome to the first episode of FM20 on my channel, and of course we are with Arsenal. I am currently going through creating my avatar, and as you can see I think it's a pretty decent likeness, especially compared to last year. Bit chubbier in the face than I thought, but we'll go with it. So walking you through my management style, and I've decided that I'm going to get a little bit more past playing experience kind of manager. So I'm going to be a little bit more tactical. I've got 20 motivating, but in terms of the coaching, I am pretty decent. I've got 20 attacking, tactical, and technical, because obviously you can tell what part of the coaching I'm going to be taking over. I'd like to point out to everyone that this is obviously only a beta version, so there are going to be inconsistencies probably in the design of the game, but this is the first time I've loaded it up, so this is the first time I've seen any of it. Let's all go through it together. I like this is different. Arsenal have confirmed the appointment of MikeRo Munch as the club's new manager, the new hero, to replace Unai Emery. What I don't want to know is how we didn't keep hold of the ball. That's my Unai Emery impression. So I'm sure a lot of you will be aware that Arsenal are notorious for trying to just get into the top four. Things haven't been as great since the Arsene Wenger era, as you saw in the intro. Last season we finished 5th, and that is where we're predicted to finish again this season. We're a 4.5 reputation team. We have a 60,000 capacity stadium in the Emirates. It's one of the best stadiums in the country. Freddie Lundberg is my assistant manager at the moment. That will probably change. Raul Salinelli is my director of football. Again, that is likely to change. It showed me what it thinks my best 11 is here, and you can tell right automatically there's areas that definitely need improving. The defence is obviously a position that needs improving, as is the middle of the field. But the one thing I think we are going to be very good at is going forward. There is an absolute wealth of talent going forward, and there's a wealth of youngsters that are coming through, and I do want to give them a go as well. So we will see some people like MikeRo, like Saka, like Reece Nelson. All of them will be playing for me in this save. Yeah, so this is the club's vision then. So this is the new thing that they've got on FM20, which is the club vision, which is basically like a 5-year plan of what they want you to do and what they want you to achieve during your tenancy, but they still don't give you a 5-year contract. But this is what the idea is. So we're prefer to play attacking football, which shouldn't be an issue. Play entertaining football is desired. Sign players under the age of 18 for the future. Considering the save, I don't anticipate it's going to last very long. This is literally just like the beta save, maybe the first couple of weeks of FM20 when it's fully released. So I can only see us maybe doing 3 seasons with Arsenal. The aim is to obviously win the Premier League. That is going to be my aim for this. If we do well in the Champions League, great. If we don't, the idea is just that I need to win the Premier League and get Arsenal back to that position of where they were when they were under prime Wenger, not later Wenger. Work within the budget, the wage budget, that's required. That's going to be an issue because they are tight on finance. Qualify for the Champions League, that is required, so that is the minimum they expect from me there. Qualify for the Champions League is designed, well I've got to if I finish in the top 4, haven't I? Oh no, that's for next year. Okay, so the 3-year plan, they want me to actually, by the end of 2022 to 23, have won the Premier League. I would like to have won it by 21-22, which I think is doable. And yeah, I quite like this actually. This looks like a decent setup. I'm quite enjoying what they're doing here. I don't need to do a tactics induction. I know what we're going to be doing. I know the tactics. That's all very well. Okay, so here I think I can negotiate then the current vision. Quite a lot of it I'm very happy with, in all fairness. There's not really a lot that I wouldn't want to do. Maybe signing players under the age of 18 just because of where we are in the or just because of the nature of the save. That's not really something I'm looking forward to doing. I'd rather spend my money then on buying players into the first team and improving the first team. So let's negotiate that and see if I can get that taken off. See, yeah, they're not happy. They really want to go ahead with the signing players under the age of 18. I'm going to take it off again and suggest it again. Okay, fine. Well, it's not giving me a lot of choice, is it? They're just, maybe that's part and parcel of what it happens when you come to a club and you've kind of got not as much of a good reputation as they do. Qualify for the Champions League, we'll try and do that. And yeah, I can't see. I don't want to be judged on. I don't want to be judged on the Europa League particularly, but I think we can reach the semi-finals of the FA Cup. That I think shouldn't be an issue, and they seem fine with that. This is going to be more like a kind of let's play for it, because obviously I'm learning it just as much as everyone else is. So I'm just looking at what's going on here. We'll have a look at the squad. We'll have a look at maybe what tactics I'm going to be looking at, although that's going to depend a lot on what I do with the squad. We'll have a quick run through of it. This isn't going to be any gameplay today or signings. That'll come in the next episode. This is literally just looking at the new FM20 layout, having a look at all the new bits and bobs. We're obviously going to go through other things as we go through the save that are new to the save. And like I said, this is a beta. I cannot stress that enough. So there are going to be weird anomalies and bits that take place, and not everything is going to be as polished as it should be. But without further ado then, let's have a look at the squad. Okay, so the first thing I can tell you is that we have a shed load of injuries. Rob Holding's out, Bellerin's out, Kieran Tierney is out, Smith Rowe is out. I've still got players on holiday. Obviously they're going from like the Nations League, etc, etc. But there is quite a lot to like about this Arsenal side. Notably, I think Bernd Leno is a very decent goalkeeper. He's rated at 3.5 stars in this. I do rate the star system. Hopefully that's very similar to the way it was in the previous one. No need to see me changing him. I think he's a very good goalkeeper and will continue to get better. Martinez should be an able backup at 2.5 star. I don't really think you want your second goalkeeper any higher than that, unless you're one of the really big boys, which, no offence to Arsenal fans, we're not. Okay, let's just get that out of the way right now. Defence is obviously a problem area. At the moment, my back two would be Socrates. I'm not going to even try and say his surname, and David Luiz. Now, David Luiz, very well seasoned veteran, experienced, knows what he's doing. His concentration at 10 tells you all you need to know about him. He is a very good player, but at the same time, he will cost you about 5 or 6 goals a season just from lax errors in judgment. I think Socrates is probably not too different. His concentration is at 16, but he's less well-rounded than David Luiz. The other thing is that both of them are getting to their kind of peak of their careers now. Socrates is 32 and David Luiz is 31, I think. Other way around, sorry. So I'm looking at bringing in their centre-back as an absolute must. Shkodran Mustafi is definitely going to be sold. Don't care that he's a World Cup winner. Don't care that he's 27 years old. I've seen him play enough to know that this guy is he's just an accident waiting to happen. There is no way that I'm going to keep him in the side, and I'm definitely going to sell him off, and I think that will help us generate a bit more money because he's valued at £22.5 million. I'm sure every Arsenal fan is going to be happy to hear me say that he will not be playing a part in this series, as long as someone's stupid enough to buy him. Look at the fullbacks, again, maybe a bit of an issue. Left side, I'm not too worried about. I think Kolasinac and Tierney are two very decent players. I'm looking forward to playing with Kieran Tierney. He looks obviously very good, 22 years old, Scottish. Not quite Andy Robertson, but not too far off. He's a very decent footballer. And of course, obviously, Kolasinac is just an absolute tank. 3 stars, he's very well rated as well. Don't see any reason to get rid of him. Right back is an issue. Bellerin is naturally, obviously, our kind of best right back, and he will be the number 1 right back when he comes back. Although I'm worried about him defensively, so I want to give him some competition because Callum Chambers is nowhere near good enough to be playing for us at this level, I don't think. Maybe a decent centre-back option, but not a right-back, no chance. And of course, as well, central midfield is the other reason I have got issues with. Lucas Torreira will be a very decent player, but I think he lacks a little bit going forward. He is going to probably be my ball-winning midfielder. I'm surprised that he's so low on it. He doesn't look like a deep-line playmaker to me. He is definitely more of a ball-winning midfielder. Only 23, so plenty to do there. I'm a big fan of Matteo Guendouzi. I think this boy going forward is going to be maybe the team that I build, the kid that I build this team around. He is extremely good for 20 years old, and you can tell there by the stat. Very well-rounded in everything, all of his attributes, nearly in double figures, very decent. And of course, we get onto the very controversial Granit Xhaka. He's meant to be Arsenal captain. Leadership at 13? No. And determination 13? No, not good enough. He's still only 26, and I'm not sure I want to get rid of him, because I think he's a very decent footballer, but he's not Arsenal captain, and he's not the player that I really want to build my side around. If anything, I don't think he'll be a first team player for me. I'd rather that he was sort of like a backup, well, not a backup, but a rotation option. Then we get into the youngsters here, and this is where I do get a bit excited. Joe Willock, Danny Ceballos, or who's obviously on loan from Real Madrid, Reece Nelson, Emil Smith-Rowe. All of them will definitely play a part. Martinelli here up front looks absolutely exceptional, and there is no reason for me not to want to play him as one of the kind of backups to Aubameyang and Lacazette will be up front. We've obviously got the new big signing in Nicolas Pepe, who is extremely good here. You can tell, only 24 years old. Brilliant pace and acceleration. Lots of trickery. Dribbling at 17 is good. Off the ball, work rate, all very decent. And we've obviously got the two big men up front in terms of Lacazette, who's rated at 4 stars, so you can tell he's very good. And he will be starting in my team. I have to find a way of accommodating him and Aubameyang, who is the other player who's absolutely brilliant. Acceleration of 20 and pace of 19. Tell you all you need to know about this boy. 30 years old, Gabonese international, absolutely quality. Was joint Golden Boot winner last year, and he's up there in the Golden Boot race in real life this season as well. The big elephant in the room is what I do with 30-year-old Mesut Ozil. Maverick, mercurial talent, work rate is abysmal, but he will create so many good things. Vision of 19, passing 19, first touch 19, composure 18, agility 16. Decent pace, decent dribbling. He is just an exceptional talent in terms of the advanced playmaker role, and I do want to play him. I think it's a shame that they're not using him. Yes, his work rate's terrible. Yes, he's really, really overpaid at 350k a week, and it has buggered up Arsenal. But, you play your best players, and he is without doubt one of our best players. So where am I looking to improve? I think we have to look at the defence, the right backs, left back we think we're fine. Midfield obviously I think we need, and definitely looking at maybe a left winger as well. There's a lot of players and a lot of places that we need to improve this team, but we only have a transfer budget of £10 million, so there is going to have to be some offloading if I am to bring in anybody. It might be a case of me having to kind of do some budgetish signings to start with, and then we can just see where we go from there. There's plenty of room to move around because the wage budget's 352k, so this is probably near more about 20 million, 30 million, I'd hazard a guess. Actually, what's the finances like? 10 million, and we've got 275 million in the bank. Do me a favour. Now I know what it's like to be an Arsenal fan. Jesus. So I think what we really need in terms of this is we need a bit of experience, a lot of leadership, a lot of work rate, and just maybe a little bit more technical quality at the back. I think everything is in place for this side to challenge for the Premier League. Top 4 we should be getting. With this squad up against some of the others, I think we should really be getting it. It's going to be interesting to see how some teams do this year. Obviously Chelsea with Lampard in this game. They start very well in real life. How well will they do in this? Not 100% sure. How well will United do with Solskjaer in charge? Not 100% sure. Will Spurs be as good in this game as they were in the last, considering how they started in the league? Again, unsure. There are many, many questions to this, and this is why I'm so excited about this save. This is the first kind of like big club, if you like, that I have taken over in one of my FM series so far. So I hope that you're all going to enjoy it. I know certainly I am. And what we're going to do is I'm going to do all my signings and bits and bobs, and then we're going to come back for our first game against Bournemouth in the Premier League on the 10th of August. Not in real life, because obviously that means we'd have to wait a year, but in game. And we've got a pretty alright start actually. Bournemouth away, Sheffield United at home, Liverpool at home is a bit tough one. Watford away, Brighton away. In those first 5 games, we have any aspirations of doing really well in this league. We should be looking at least 12 points from 15 there, I think it is safe to say. Thank you so much for watching the episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do like, share and subscribe. And until I see you for the second episode of my FM20 beta save with Arsenal, stay cool.